Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is The Take on this Monday morning. I am back in Minnesota. A lot of people have been asking. I have a lot of different appointments going on over the next day or so, and then I will be back in Florida again. So as we look back to last week, yes, we got that late surge in the markets, and we got the Dow and the NASDAQ moving to the upside a little bit. We've had gold, which has been trading in an interesting way and starting to have a little bit of a push as well. We also have been watching crude very closely. We know how volatile that has been. All kinds of different news around crude, of course, pulled back and actually finished the week around 99 or so. Nothing huge to the downside, but certainly pulling back off of some of the levels where it had been throughout the week. We look at the volatility index trading underneath 20, closed out the week, trading right around 1960. Of course, you're pricing in the weekend and all, but it seemed like a very, very fair level in which we were trading, especially given a little bit of the markets finding a little less movement intraday than we had been seeing outside of that last 15 minutes, half hour, or last hour of the session and so forth. Staples, materials, that was some of the leadership that we had on Friday. What was pulling on the markets a little bit? Well, the industrials, some of the financials, give it a little bit of a pull. That was that back and forth that we were seeing. But again, there were some strong leaders out there. Matter of fact, I mentioned gold, but the place you want to maybe look, something like a Newmont, for instance. Chinese names definitely having a pretty decent day. We had Monster Beverage, that was having a good day. Moderna also, along with Micron and NVIDIA, had a pretty decent day. Where we were seeing a lot of pressure, however, was truckers, names like J.B. Hunt and so forth, and Old Dominion, but also rails, also anything in the delivery world. You look at UPS and FedEx. Those are all definitely drags and pulling on the markets and dragging on the Dow itself a little bit, at least. Intel, Walgreens pulling back somewhat. So that was something about how we finished out the week. So how are we starting this week? Well, the Dow didn't look too good early on. Matter of fact, it stayed in negative territory, down about 175, down about 180 points, give or take, between the pre and when we started off the day. But in this first hour, we've seen it kind of rally underneath, being flat, down in the red, very, very small. NASDAQ been very, very steady, not much movement at all, but up about 150 points. That's something that stands out. Crude with a little bit of a bounce back, up over 103 just moments ago. Now look at the 10-year. Now the 10-year has been moving. A lot of people have been talking about the inversions. We've been talking about that whole topic for a while now, but it's also something to just see that the 10 years kind of stopped, kind of paused right here, call it between 2.3 and 2.5, and obviously that's a decent range itself, but here today, sitting just underneath 2.4. So not a whole lot of movement there. Look at the volatility right there in those 19. So as I say, pricing in the weekend, but that also was pricing in about the kind of movement that we have been seeing of late in terms of the markets themselves. Consumer discretion, that's been something that we've been talking about a lot as we've been focusing on Tesla. Oh, and speaking of Tesla, how about Elon Musk? How about that news over the weekend? And a little over a 9% stake that Elon himself has made in Twitter, and the big bounce that we've seen there. And oh, by the way, about a week ago or so, some huge call buying that was going out to May, giving a little bit of time, as we talked about. But last Monday, that May call buying really, really pretty outstanding. Those options that were $1.25 or something very close to that today on the highs got just underneath $8. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of just how strong this move has been. It's a pretty unbelievable move to the upside. I think on the upper end, up about 23, 24%, something like that. So an amazing move for Twitter. Now, Staples, they're a little bit of a drag, pulled back up. I think that's why you're seeing the Dow moving the way it is. Communications definitely having a really, really strong, powerful start to the day, along with technology. All of that giving you that push that you're seeing right now out of the NASDAQ. So we talk about Twitter. How about Facebook? How about Netflix? How about Apple? How about Amazon? All of those names having a very, very nice, solid move to the upside today. And obviously, Twitter, we'll just throw that one into that group for now, having an absolutely incredible day based upon a lot of that news and a lot of people just getting very, very excited about that name once again. Chinese names also having a pretty good day. You're looking at Beta Energy, definitely having a good day. That combination That's where you're seeing a lot of that big movement that we're talking about to the upside. There's some drags in the market, names like Starbucks, Smuckers, Pepsi, and then a lot of those Dow names that are just getting that ease back right now because there's a little bit more of a risk appetite as we're talking about. But McDonald's, Procter & Gamble, 3M, Boeing, Coca-Cola, all those names, a bit of a drag right now and have been a little bit of a drag on the Dow. So I've got two unusuals. I'm out of here pretty quick. I'm up here for just a day or two. I will not be able to do the take tomorrow, unfortunately, because of some of the appointments. So look forward to hopefully catching up with you maybe on Wednesday. So Gap Stores, number one, 1390 is where the stock was trading. 12,500 of this Friday's expiring April 8th, the 14 calls. So give or take, you are right on top of where the stock is right now. And they're buying those 14 calls that have today and the next 4 days to really pan out. 14 cents up to about 27 cents for a move and gap to the upside. Secondly, I talked about all those big cap names in the technology world, Facebook being a huge one, especially given today's action that we're seeing in Twitter. Stock trading up, stock trading right around 231, 14,000 of the April 8th expiring 230 calls. So these are just in the money by $1, but just in the money calls. They started off around $2. They finished off buying the 14,000 of those at about $4.40. So pretty interesting to see that. Some nice, big, bulky option action that we're seeing in the markets right now. We've been seeing a little bit more and more of that of late, just going back a couple of weeks ago when we had those giant call buying that we had seen in names like Apple and then obviously Facebook, and then add in a couple of the other names. But today, nice to see the Facebook options and the stock really rebounding very, very nicely after all of the crushing that they had done. Now, somebody out there looking like they're seeing for a little bit more upside. We'll see how that pans out. Folks, have a great day of trading. Look forward to the day and be disciplined. Be smart. If you don't understand the derivatives markets, you really do have to have that understanding. Educate yourself. Find a way, whether it's with Market Rebellion, with books, with videos, whatever it might be. But this is an incredible place to be, but you have to have a great understanding of it as well. Have a great day of trading.